Today, let's discuss how to train your mind. Training your mind is so foundational for any kind of success that you want to experience, whether it's an internal success of feeling better, of actually consciously creating thoughts and feelings, to outer success around achieving goals that you want, whether that's in relationship with somebody or financial or career or anything in the external world as we're defining that, right? So it's not about controlling your mind, it's about mastering your mind through an inner experience which creates external results and internal results. I learned this through many, many years of meditation. So in the next 8 to 10 minutes, I'm going to encapsulate all of what I've learned over 20 years of meditation and being a devoted student to an enlightened master, as well as being a successful psychologist and professional meditator, you could say, right? I'm not paid to meditate per se. No, I don't think so, actually. I had to double check that one. So anyway, let's get started. The first thing that is going to help you train your mind is to do what you say you are going to do. Now, why? Well, let's talk about this for a minute. Anytime we make a commitment to ourselves, forget about anybody else, and we do it, there's an uptick in our internal self-concept or self-esteem. There's an uptick in confidence. There's an uptick around just feeling better because we fulfilled something, not even consciously, but on a subconscious level in our own psychology. Anytime we fulfill a commitment to ourselves, somewhere deep inside, we know we've done that. Now, the opposite is also true. If we make a commitment and don't stick to that, something erodes inside of us. There's a lot of things that erode. We don't trust ourselves. We don't feel confident. Our self-esteem goes down, right? And the biggest thing that this teaches in this venue of training your mind is it teaches discipline. You say you're going to do something, you make a commitment to yourself, you're like, I'm going to do that. You don't even have to talk about it to anyone else, though I think that helps in a lot of ways. And you just do it no matter what. As soon as you do something, especially when you don't want to, it's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, there's something happens where we learn discipline. And training the mind is 50% discipline and 50% letting go, we could say, right? So we're talking about the discipline side of training the mind. Because in order to train the mind, let's just say through meditation, you've got to stick with a practice. Because one of the best ways in this, number one, do what you say you're going to do, way of when you're meditating, you stick with it. You set a timer for 20 minutes, you're doing it for 20 minutes. No matter how uncomfortable, distracted, how anxious you get, how you just are squirming and want to get out of there, you keep your butt on your pad, so to speak, right? So that's one thing, is do what you say you are going to do. Number two, practice thinking and feeling consciously. Now, a lot of people are like, I can't control my thoughts. And it's not about control, obviously. I can't even master my thoughts. I can't dictate how I feel. In a lot of ways, that's true. In other ways, it's not. Here's what I mean. For many years, I thought the same thing. There's no way that I could create my thoughts or create feelings. Thoughts and feelings just happen, which is true and not true. Here's what I mean. I think and feel unconsciously all the time. But here's the practice that I would not say I'm a master of, but I'm practicing mastery of, is that I become aware of thoughts and feelings that I'm having that came from somewhere, who knows. And then as soon as I become aware, then you can do something about it. Is this how I want to keep thinking about this subject? Is it helpful? Is this thought creating myself as a victim to a circumstance? Is it creating resentment? Is it creating happiness? Is it creating gratitude? Right? Same with feelings. Do I appreciate this feeling of resentment, jealousy, I don't know, triggered reaction? No? What can I do about it? Okay, 2 steps. Feel it and allow it, accept it's fine, not to add a layer of shame or judgment onto a feeling I'm having, and then shift. It can be done, and it's a practice, again, that my students, my peers all do, and we all practice. The order of monks and nuns that I'm a part of, we all practice this constantly, and we're very successful in navigating feelings and thoughts that we have. So the first thing you have to look at if you want to think and feel consciously is your belief system around this. Like I said in the beginning, years ago, I did not believe that that was possible. Thus, it wasn't possible. But I'm telling you, as someone who's reformed, you could say, from a past way of being in myself, that it is absolutely possible. It can free up so much in your life. And the second thing to do is practice it, right? Become aware and shift. Become aware and shift. Now, you can't do this in like a rigid kind of judgy way. It's in the way that I've talked about, or some other way like that, where we have a feeling or a thought that we don't appreciate. Okay, fine. that's happening. How do I want to shift? How do I want to feel? Now, I'm probably overly simplifying it. Now, I don't think I'm overly simplifying it, but I'm making something simple that's not easy. So think and feel consciously. That's the second step. Thirdly, this is the one, my favorite one. The world is a reflection of the mind. How the world occurs to you, how the world occurs to me, is a reflection of my mind. So what we can interestingly do, this is a total pro tip that I don't see a lot of people do, is create the world around us in a certain way, meaning create our relationships, our career, our spirituality, our relationship with ourself, everything in our life that is external, create it in a way that it's how we want our mind to be. So create your relationships however you want to do that they're harmonious. Create your job or your career, your role as successful, and however that means for you. Create a body that you want, a level of health or fitness that you want, and notice how that reflects your mind state. Everything that happens around us is a reflection of how our mind is. So we can reverse engineer it and work with the outcome first, which will then create a certain interpolation or outcome inside of creating our mind. It can be done. Now, again, it's not what I would recommend because I think it's harder to do. But if you really take a hard look at your world and notice the quality of all the different areas that I just mentioned, that will always reflect the state of our mind. Yeah. Some of us probably know people that live in a chaotic world. Well, they have a chaotic mind. People that have a dramatic world. Well, they're dramatic inside. It's just how it works. I don't know how else to say it. All right. So that's the third one, is the world is a reflection of our mind, and we can create our outside world to create our inside world. And the fourth thing, allow and create, allow and create. Here's what I mean by that. As we are experiencing things in our minds, which then has an impact on how we think and how we feel, allow those to be there. This two-step process I talked about earlier. Allow the feelings to be there, the thoughts to be there, become aware and allow them, fine. And then create. And then we'll create. We'll get kind of hit an internal obstacle or external obstacle, which create an internal experience. Okay, fine. I'm feeling really hopeless right now. I'm feeling really triggered. I'm feeling really despondent, hopeless. Okay, fine. Hang out there for a minute. Be in the heart. Meditate if you want on it, great. And then get in action and create again. This allows you to train your mind because you're gradually molding your mindset around things. Because I know for myself, as I had a lot of anger and irritation earlier in my life, maybe even as soon as 10 years ago or so. And what I learned that as soon as I judged or didn't like that I was angry, I increased the anger inside of me and decreased my ability to shift the anger. Because I was like, oh, I hate feeling this way. Why does it do that? Which you can just see in my little reenactment here. I'm pretty irritated about being irritated, right? So the more that we can allow these thoughts and feelings to be there for a moment, for a finite period of time, accept and welcome them into our hearts, and then move into creation from that place, we are going to be so much more effective. And you've got this, and I'm with you. All my best.